Hello. Today we are going to talk something new, something different from the poultry production that we have been talking about. We are going to discuss on how you can start, or the practices that you are supposed to do to ensure that you have a successful dairy farm. Number one on that thing is animal health. The animal health is a key factor to ensure that you have a good dairy farm. Number two is the milk hygiene. You must make sure that milk is of good hygiene, good quality. Actually, the key factor in any dairy farm is milk production. So milk hygiene is a very key factor. Number three factor is nutrition. When we talk of nutrition, we are talking about feed and water. When we talk about feed, we have the concentrates, the normal roughages. We talk about the mineral salts, the supplements, that is the vitamin and all the stuff. And then another point of what you consider to ensure that you have a good dairy farm is animal welfare. How do you house your animals? How have you protected your animals from adverse or extreme weather conditions? So that is something we will be talking about. And then another point is socio-economic management. Is the venture, the dairy venture, is it of economic importance? Is it sustainable? Is it of help to the society? So those are some of the factors that we're going to discuss about. Now we discuss on point number one, the animal health factor to ensure that you have a good dairy farm. So number one, select breeds that are more tolerant to infections or to diseases. This one will help you reduce on the cost of treatment and the cost of other management and routine management practices. So you see, when you have they're around we have the Frisian, the Jersey, the Guernsey, you see, and also we have the indigenous breeds. So as a farmer, you're supposed to select the one that is that is less susceptible to infections. And also you must consider is it this animal, will it adapt to the kind of feed that is locally available? The quality of the feed, the water, the climate, is it adaptable to the climate, the hot and wet? Like now the Frisian, it cannot survive in the arid areas. So you see, this is a very important factor. In arid areas we have the Borana, the Zebus. You see, in the cool and wet we have the Frisians, these dairy exotic breeds. Another point, prevent any entry of disease onto the farm. You know, and this is a very, very important factor. That is why in most of the farm we are supposed to have footbaths at the main entrance. Even the vehicle, when it comes through, it goes through the main footpath. Also, at the entrance to the animal unit, you must have a footpath to ensure that you don't carry any bacteria or virus to the farm, to the animals. Also, by animals, you know their health status and also you control the introduction of new ones into the existing flock. Or when you have taken out a flock, a certain herd, like 2 or 3 animals, before you reintroduce it back, you have to ensure that you do proper quarantine, so that you know, biosecurity measures also is another thing that you consider. Fence your farm very well, protect it well. You see, another point on animal health is have efficient and effective herd health management practices in place. The herd health management practices include the routine management like deworming, dehorning, branding. It should be very efficient. Also, under this, you must identify your animals with ear tags or you brand them. And then another thing is use chemicals and drugs as directed by the veterinarians. As a farmer, if you don't have the knowledge on maybe an animal has been sick, don't go just around and start buying the antibiotics and administering. Let the veterinarian or animal health expert help you carry out that activity. It is very, very important. Like another chemical that is widely misused is the acaricides. You know, most farmers go and buy a single brand and use it over and over and over and over. Whereas if you could have asked a veterinarian or an animal health expert, he or she will tell you that you rotate. If today you have used a duodip, next time you use maybe vectorseed. You see, that is very, very important. Now we come to point number 2, milk hygiene. Milk is the defining activity of any dairy farming. So you have to ensure that milking routine is done well and it does not injure or cause any irritation to the animals. Sufficient supply of clean water. You must have clean water in place. Also, you must have a towel when you have cleaned the udder before you milk. You clean the udder, then you dry it, then you start milking. If you are doing hand milking, if you are doing machine milking, ensure that you clean up the machine well. You clean the udder well, then you insert the caps into the teats, and then you start the process. And then ensure that milk is carried out of the milking parlor in a hygiene condition. That is very, very important. Milk is very sensitive and it should be taken care of very, very well with a lot of care, because ultimately the essence of doing dairy farming is for you as a farmer to get maximum production. Under this milk issue is also where you see, if I'm setting up a farm, am I setting a farm so that I can get milk of higher butter fat content, or is it to get the quantity? As much as we do focus on the quality, the quantity also is very important. You cannot, for economic purposes, you cannot keep one animal and you expect to gain as much as someone who has like 10 herds of fresh hens. For example, your one herd produces 30 liters of milk per day, and the other one produces 30 liters per day for the 10 cows. So you'll be having 300, and you will be having 30 liters. When you do the mathematics, you'll not be in business, but he or she will be in business. So that is very, very important. Another important, pregnant, and a very big point that we should consider is nutrition. Nutrition is very important. For you to get the best out of the best, you have to ensure that your animals are properly fed, they get the quality water, they get the quality mineral supplement, so that the productivity is high. Feed and water. Feed the animals from a suitable, sustainable source. You have to ensure that the water and the feed come from a very sustainable source. As a farmer, you must ensure that there is enough protein in your feed, there is enough carbohydrate in your feed, there is enough mineral supplements in your feed, there is enough and sufficient clean, reliable source of water for your animals to uptake. So this is very important. For example, in the morning you wake up. Also, before I explain to you on how you feed, it is very, very important to note that an animal should feed directly proportional to how its production is. You cannot feed an animal, when you do the mathematics, the expense of feeding the animal is around 500 shillings per day. Here the animal is giving you 200 shillings per day. So that part of economics should be well calculated. So Also, most farmers make, I don't know why they do this practice, but I've seen it, and I discourage it, that they feed the animal on the roughage, and then during the time of milking is when they give the concentrate, like the dairy meal and the mineral salts. They give it like during milking. That is a bad habit. That I call it a bad habit, because as a human being, you don't eat ugali alone, and then when during meals, and then some other time you go and eat, you are eating the protein, you are eating the salt at a different time. You eat the whole meal at once. So I encourage farmers, bring in your silage, it's there, bring in your dairy meal, bring in your salts, milks, mix them well, and then now feed the whole thing at once. When the animal is full, it gets enough time to rest and digest. Now, this habit that farmers have, I don't know where they. Maybe I'll get some time and do more research on how they came to understand that they do feeding of nutrients, the supplement during milking. Also, there is this proteins are very, very important. It's not necessarily that you should feed on uh, processed protein. There's also plant protein. There is sesbania trees, shrubs. There is sweet potato vines. We have bracharia, which has a high protein content. See, these, they are natural. There is lucerne, there is desmodium. These are plants that you can plant in the farm, and you will have they are perennial crops. Actually, they are perennial plants. They are perennial fodder crops, which you should consider. Another thing in nutrition that I encourage farmers to consider: don't feed your animals on the green, wet matter. No, feed it on wilted grasses, or you can feed them on silaging. It's important to ensile. Actually, ensiled fodder has high digestibility than these other ones. Also, there are feeds that farmers give their animals, like banana trees. That one is just to fill the stomach for the animal. You should avoid those kind of feeding habits. Now let's talk about animal welfare. When I talk of animal welfare, I'm really passionate about this thing, because it is the critical part. How comfortable do you keep your animal so that you get the best out of it? Number one, you should have proper housing. Make sure that where your animal stays is properly constructed. Like if it's a zero grazing unit, it has all the compartments: the sleeping area, the danging area, there is the feeding area, the watering area. You see, also on the sleeping area, ensure that there is at least a mattress. Okay, you see. Another thing, how regular do you, apart from spraying your animals with acaricide, do you even wash them? It's very important for you to wash your animals. You wash them, because it's relaxing. Yeah? It's very, very important for you to do that. The animal, when they have discomfort, they will have a reduction in productivity. So it's something very, very important you should consider. Another point that we should consider is socio-economic management. My friend, as a farmer, once you put up your enterprise and you say you're a dairy farmer, your goal is to get profit out of your business. Now, if you have a farm, you are inputting all your resources to the farm, and there is zero output, then you are in an awkward position. At the same time, if you are doing farming and the practices you are carrying out is against the society, it is harming other people. Like now, how do you dispose your waste? You just dispose it anyhow, like the dung from the farm. Is very important. Is very sad. So that one also will affect the people around you. That's why we call it socio-economic. Socially, how is it affecting the people? Also, you can have a good farm, you employ people. That is, you have created a source of income to the people within the society. You have empowered people. Okay, I really appreciate and I look forward to discuss more and more with you guys. Thank you very much.